Say live and let die.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Quite an Ass, and this is about the third time I've had to narrate this video, so my voice is beginning to get hoarse, and I'm getting tired, so forgive that. I'm showing you how I play as Demonology. This is my first really long video that I've narrated, so I didn't really feel like writing a script and, rehearsing it like I did with the How to Beat a Rogue video. I've recorded this video beforehand, a day earlier than I have narrated it, and quite frankly I'm going to try to match the video as much as I can with the narrations, and I'm going to be pausing and saying even though in one of my comments I said I wouldn't, just because quite frankly I'm getting tired. I went with a 0, 31, 5 talent build, 31 points in Demonology, 5 in Destruction. I didn't put the 5 points in Affliction because Affliction's more about dots, Demonology's about some pretty strong burst, and Destruction is also about some burst, so Destruction matches it better. Demonology, I don't know, I'm just stalling here. Demonic Embrace, great for the 10% stamina. Dark Arts, great for Felguard damage. Fell Synergy, same thing as did before, great for healing your pet. Demonic Aegis, really good right there. 5% health increase, or not increase, but every second, which is good. Mana Feed's good, gives you mana. Demonic Rebirth, really good. You definitely need this because in the current state of everything, your Felguard's pretty squishy and you'll need to resummon it. These all seem to be fairly optional, mostly up to you. Demonic Aegis, though, I would say you need it, but you don't necessarily need it. It's really good because it increases the amount of health you get per 5 seconds from Fel Armor from 2% to 5%, which is very good and adds up to a lot in the long run of a fight. So I would say you need that, but I guess you wouldn't necessarily need it. Demonic Empowerment does roughly the same thing as it did before. I'll go in more depth than that later on in the video. Impending Doom. It's good with the stuff it does with Shadowbolt and the Hand of Gul'dan and all that. Really good for the Curse of Doom effect it has. I'll talk about that later. Improved Health Funnel, same thing as it did before as far as I know. Very good. Definitely need that. Hand of Gul'dan. I'll discuss this later on in the video, but it is a great spell, very powerful, lots of things that come from it. You definitely need it. I really would say you're retarded for skipping that up if you do. Aura of the Foreboding. It works with your Hand of Gul'dan after it lands. All enemies within certain yard radius are snared for 3 seconds. And if you stay in there for 3 seconds after the stun, or 6 seconds, you get stunned. Or 3 seconds after the snare. I think I messed up there, whatever. Glyph of Fear. It can work great with it because Glyph of Fear holds them in place, so there's some good synergy with that. Inferno increases the radius of Hellfire by 10 yards, and you can channel it while moving, which is very, very good because you can just break just about any stealthy out of stealth with that, because the actual AoE is, I think it's about twice as wide as the animation shows, so rogues will think they're out of range, but they're actually in range. They get broken out of stealth, charged by your Felguard, then they're screwed pretty much. So great utility in PvP for that. Can also be used in PvE, I guess, but I haven't really tested out AoE in PvE, so not exactly sure how that one works out. Decimation, same thing as it did before, but instead of activating at 35% health, it activates at 25% health. Everything else is the same, very good. Cremation increases damage done by Hellfire by 30%, and your Hand of Gul'dan has a 100% chance to refresh the duration of your immolate on the target. very good. That increasing or refreshing the duration is good, and the damage is also good from Hellfire. More of a PvE thing, but I picked it up anyways. Demonic Pack. Now this buff lasts indefinitely and is not activated whenever your Felguard crits, but whenever your Felguard is out. It increases spell power by 10%, and it increases your spell damage base by 2%. Molten Core, believe it does everything the exact same way it did before, except it doesn't affect Soulfire now, sadly. I didn't pick this up because I didn't think it was worth 3 points for a PvP spec. I use my spec for PvP and PvE, but it's mostly oriented around PvP. Same thing as it did before, I'm pretty sure, with Incinerate, so that's good. I didn't pick it up though. Ancient Grimoral, or whatever that says, I'm reading this in really small text, so this is hard for me to read. Increases the duration of your Infernal and Doom Guard by 20 seconds, up from 45 seconds, which makes it 65 seconds, or 1 minute and 5 seconds. Kind of strange with the extra 5 seconds, but whatever. I don't really use my big demons, or whatever you want to call those, very much, so I didn't pick it up, but you can. I've seen people with it. Metamorphosis, same thing as it did before, I believe. Very good. Bane, very good because it increases or decreases the cast time of Shadow Bolt, Chaos Bolt, and Immolate by 0.5 seconds. You won't be using Shadow Bolt, but Chaos Bolt, but the increase on everything's really good other than Chaos Bolt. Improved Immolate, really good because you should have Immolate on your targets at all time, because Immolate's really just a very powerful spell with Demonology. Shadow and Flame, this is pretty good. Increases the damage of Shadow Bolt and Incinerate by 12%. I didn't pick it up. It doesn't seem to have the same amount of damage increase that Bane has, but I'm not sure. I haven't tested this out, nor have I ever in the past. So that's up to people who've tested it to prove me wrong. And if you do, by all means, if you do know anything wrong with this video that you can correct or that will change, please leave a comment and I will change everything as soon as I possibly can. Moving on to glyphs. Most of these are kind of optional and all that stuff, but Metamorphosis you definitely need. Felguard you definitely need. They changed that. Metamorphosis didn't change none, by the way, but Felguard, they changed that. The new ability, Legion Strike, they increased its damage by 5%. I got Glyph of Immolate, because Immolate's really good. It increases its damage by 10%, same as it always did. Really good, but you can also swap that out with some other stuff, like Bane of Agony increases its duration by 4 seconds, which is good, but I use Bane of Doom over Agony, so that's why I didn't pick that up. Glyph of Corruption, it's, I'm not sure how good it would be for Demonology over something like, say, Incinerate or Immolate. Not exactly sure, but I ain't buying it anyways because it's really expensive in the auction house. Excuse me. Glyph of Incinerate, same thing as it did before. I use Incinerate over Shadow Bolt. Not sure if that's best. I don't even know. Haven't tested that, as I said before, but it does the same thing as it did before. And I didn't buy it because everything's expensive and I'm very poor. Health Stone increases maximum health. The Health Stone restores by 30%, which makes it 58% of your base health, which is good. Soul Link, I would say this is a must, because that's reduced 5% damage while your demon's out across the board. Very useful for PvP, also in PvE, I guess. I got Shadow Flame, same thing as it did before, but Shadow Flame does quite a bit more damage now, so you use it more, and that's really good. But then you've also got Glyph of Fear, which is really good because it'll hold them in place, but also it increases its duration, its cooldown to 5 seconds, which can be bad, but has great synergy with Hand of Gul'dan and the talents Aura of the Foreboding. So I'll have to experiment with that and see how useful it is, because I don't really find myself casting fear more than once every 5 seconds. Minor glyphs, they are what they are. They are very minor. Glyph of Unending Breath, I would say for PvP, you definitely need that, because you can kite things in water. Eye of Kilrog, it's great for scouting out whenever you're in a enemy's major city or something and you're with a small group and you need to scout things out to see if it's safe to go. Drain Soul, no, you don't need Glyph of Drain Soul really. You don't really have mana problems. It's not that great, quite frankly, and I don't believe you ever use it as Demonology, or at least I don't. You should get Glyph of Health Funnel. Reduces pushback while channeling it by 100%, which is very good, but I didn't have that glyph at the time and I'm too poor to go buy it, so I'm sticking with my Drain Soul at the moment.